KBLA Talk 1580, we believe we have the best tag team in morning radio. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley. As the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show, Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DePrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Awards Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Holla, yeah.
You ready?
It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I'm your host, Robin Ayers, with you guys Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. What a throwback, that song right there. And a very happy birthday shout out to Tatiana Ali. You may know her as Little Ashley from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And she's gone on to, have herself a nice career, and she's done some other things, but probably best known as Ashley from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And she's a singer. She had a whole album. That album was nice. I had a few cuts. So yeah, shout out to you, Tatiana Ali. Well, I hope you guys are having yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. I know I am. It's back to gloomy here in LA. I don't know what's up. I don't know. I'm talking to the people in the South and talking to the people on the East Coast. Don't be sending your cold cousin over here to LA. We don't, trying to give your cousin back, send him back home. What's up, Andy?
The brightness is sticking around, though.
The brightness.
Meaning it's not as dark. When you pulled up and I stepped out to go move my car, it was still bright.
That's true.
So I'm over here like, okay, spring is coming. Summer's coming. Yes,
that is true. So I'm happy about that because, I like it. I like the sun staying around a little bit longer. So, you are right about that, Andy. Yeah, so anyway, listen, you guys, it's a great show. We have a great contributor on the line with us today, and I do want to go ahead and get started with some of these updates, but you guys know, if anytime you want to hop in and give your input on the show, you are more than welcome to do that. Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, I'm actually very excited about this next project. I don't know what the project is. I know it's a collaborative film, and already they are sparking a bidding war, which is cool. That's a great place to be in. So Sony, Warner Brothers, and Universal are all in a bidding war for their next project. As you know, Ryan Coogler, who is a very young but very successful producer of Black Panther and the Wakanda franchise. He and Michael B. Jordan have also worked together on the Fruitvale Station. There it is. Okay, that's the one. That's where they first began working together. And Michael B. Jordan, kind of stepped out really into that acting world. That's where we knew him from. But of course, Creed and all of that. So that's looking like a big deal. So talking about projects and movies and all of that, Tiana Taylor, she said it's official. I'm really excited about this one, too. There's a project that she is the leading lady on, and she's portraying the Dionne Warwick. Sorry, not Diane. Get auntie name right. Get auntie name right. Don't sidestep, Robin. Dionne Warwick. And if you see the pictures of the two of them, there's nobody else who could play that role better. Tiana Taylor. Why am I doing this? Okay, it was Tatiana Ali's birthday. It's Tiana Taylor. You see what I'm saying? You understand why I'm mixing this up? Y'all, work with me today. We halfway through the week. Work with me. But yes, Tiana Taylor is portraying Dionne Warwick, and she, I think, is going to do fantastic. So I'm excited to see that film. Another film, I'm giving you guys in advance. I'm telling you all the, what not to misses up front. But I'm giving you guys some good stuff to look forward to. Tyler Perry's new Netflix movie, Medea's Destination Wedding. That's beginning filming as well. I know we've been talking about men in dresses, and I don't know if we're tired of Medea yet. I personally love Medea. Shout out to Medea and all the movies. That's what I say. But anyway, shout out to Tyler Perry, who obviously has done very, very well for himself with the Medea character. So I'll be watching that probably. Did you know that Niecy Nash, Danielle Brooks, and Sterling K. Brown are all blood cousins, and they are all Oscar nominated / winners. Fantastic. I just found that out from Niecy Nash. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the Raw Report. Andy, let's do it.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Okay, we are talking about one of my favorite people that I love to hate, Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar, he says something really interesting, and I want to talk about it. He says that he will not date a black woman if she has ever in her life slept with a white man. First of all, Dr. Umar, not that you can just pick and choose who you want like that, but, I digress. But this is what the man says. He says he will not deal with a woman because it is just too much for him. He calls white men devils. He calls white women snow bunnies. I mean, he has got like a vendetta against white people in general. So this is what he says. Is he tripping, or does he? I mean, of course he has a right to feel how he feels, but I mean, he also promotes a lot of this, and he down talks anybody who does venture outside of their own race. So we're going to talk about that. Again, we have a wonderful contributor who I think is going to give us a lot in terms of these conversations. We are also talking about 21 Savage. Now, this conversation I think is a really good one to have. He says he feels broke parents are better than rich parents. Ooh. I got a lot to say about this. We're going to get started all on the other side. You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl BB, and you're listening to me on the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
Your floors can go from clean to dirty fast. From juice spills, whoops, to muddy paw prints, to little sticky finger marks. Good thing your Swiffer WetJet works fast too. Swiffer WetJet easily cleans everyday messes as quick as they happen. The next mess is right around the corner. So grab your Swiffer Wet Jet and just spray, push, all clean.
Lowe's knows pros want savings now. That's why, as an MVP's Pro Rewards member, you get volume savings on orders of $1,500 or more at the Pro Desk. And there's more. We've lowered our prices on select top products like electrical wire and drywall, so you can get the job necessities for less. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. In-store only. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Raw Report. With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, yes, I am inside the Raw Report. You are too. I appreciate you guys for joining me. And of course, you know, if you want to call in today, you can do that, 1-800-920-1580. But you should be joining us right now over in our YouTube. It's always lit over there. Our YouTube Raw Squad showing up already. I see you guys. We definitely appreciate you. I want to go ahead and jump right in and get our entertainment contributor on the line. I love to have this guy on. He's always welcome here at the Raw Report. Chris Gunther, how are you today, sir?
Robin, what's going on with you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on and, you know, always being open to having engaging conversations. And so it's something that I love to do. And, you know, Chris, I do talk entertainment. I know you're in entertainment as well. You talk a lot of entertainment and sports. But one of my things that I pride myself on is being able to pull something from the conversations. I don't want to talk about just any old entertainment. We want to talk about things that are moving us forward as a community and things that we can get, you know, a better understanding of and create dialogue around it. So that's what I feel like we are doing today. If you are down, we are going to jump right into this conversation if you're ready.
Let's go.
All right. So let's first talk about 21 Savage. 21 Savage, I have to admit, I've not necessarily been a fan per se. I mean, I think I've heard some of his music. He's a rapper. I've heard some things that I've liked, but I wouldn't call myself a fan. But oftentimes it's when you hear someone who you've not been a fan of musically or whatever their art is, you hear them speak and then you become more of a fan, right? So I find myself in this position with 21 Savage. He recently sat down at Club Shay Shay. You know, everybody's trying to get on Club Shay Shay now. And
everybody.
Yeah, everybody and their mama. All right, so 21 Savage just sat down with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay, and they opened up a conversation, and 21 Savage talked about his belief of broke parents being better than rich parents. But let's take a listen to the clip and let him tell you for himself, and then we will have a conversation after that.
I be feeling like I don't be doing all the way my job because of my job.
Right.
Type. Mm-hmm. So I be trying to like balance that out, like trying to like, it's like you work to receive, to gain all this success and all the good, but it's like, I feel like the best parents, in my opinion, is parents that don't got it all. I feel like broke parents are better than rich parents, in my opinion, because when you broke, you got way more time type.
Right.
So you there for like a lot of, like, yeah, gifts and matter, but they don't matter at the same time.
Sometimes all the kid needs is time.
Facts.
Your time.
Facts.
Something that a gift can't replace.
Facts.
Okay, well, I can't lie. I mean, I like where the brother was going. Okay, just so we are clear, 21 Savage does have 3 children of his own. He's got 2 sons. Their names are Kamari and Ashad, and he's got a daughter named Ryan. And so he's speaking from his own personal experience. But what's interesting is we've been talking about kids a lot. I know I've been talking about my kids a lot and going off to college and all of that stuff.
As you should.
As I should represent. Thank you, Chris. But I think it's interesting because obviously we're dealing with different generations and how we parent. And I know you are a father. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you are a father as well. So I want you to jump in on this conversation and just give me your thoughts. If off the top you believe what 21 Savage said, are broke parents better than rich parents?
On a financial tip, he is 100% wrong. Because, face it, kids are expensive. You need finances to take care of children. That plays a huge factor in it. But for him to say that broke parents are better than rich parents, I don't agree with that because, what context is he talking about in just broke? Because parents can be broke in more ways than financial. Parents can be broke mentally. They can be broke spiritually. They can be broke emotionally. And say if somebody has money, and we all know that money doesn't fix everything, but I would have to, respectfully disagree with him in that regard, just from the standpoint of, broke parents, while they may not necessarily have all the finances, some broke parents can turn out to be just as jacked up as rich parents. And I think what it ultimately comes down to is you have to be mindful of who you have children with. So I don't agree with him in that regard.
Very interesting. Okay, well, let me give you my thoughts on this. I am going to look at this from two different lenses, okay? I hear him when 21 Savage says, you know what? He's done all the work to become successful. You hear this a lot, actually. In this day and age, you hear a lot of successful actors, just people who are well off. If you want a lot of money, that means it's probably going to be a lot of your time. Now, obviously, we know that there's entrepreneurs out here who are making money when they sleep and they get residual income. I mean, that's goals, right? But a lot of the people who've made their money and they've become successful, they had to put in a lot of work. So from that point of view, I understand what he's saying. He's like, yeah, you did all of this work and now you are comfortable, you're living comfortably and you can provide gifts and, clothes and the best schools and things like that. But you're not giving your kid any time, which is his situation. He's got young kids too. They want his time. Yep. So in that sense, I'm like, I definitely agree with you because if you are broke, meaning maybe you are broke is I hear what he's saying, but that's definitely, it's maybe exaggerated a little bit. Maybe you are just the average person who goes to work, you're 9 to 5 and you're living maybe check to check or, something like that. For the most part, you are, you have the time because you're at home. You know what I'm saying? And that is what you're choosing to do. You're choosing to spend your time with your kids. So in that sense, I'm like, okay, I feel him where he's coming from with the broke parents being better. Does that hit a little bit, or do you agree or no?
While I understand where both of you guys are coming from, it's just hard for me to believe that, somebody who has money, who is financially set, is really going to sit up here and say, man, a broke parent would be better because of the time. Well, it's just a very hard for me to really understand it just from the standpoint of, children want time whether you got money or not. And while, somebody of his caliber, while he has the finances, at the end of the day, kids are going to remember how you treat them. And if you're going to constantly say, well, I can't spend as much time with my kids because, I got to go out here and make this bread. Look, I understand that philosophy because as a, man, we got to provide for our families. We get all of that. But there will come a point in time when all excuses are eventually going to run out and they're going to remember how you treated them. So I can't fully agree with what he's saying that broke parents would be better. I just don't see it happening. I just really don't.
It's interesting. You agree, or I think mostly everyone who is on who's voting inside of the poll right now, they agree. They say that rich parents are better, generally speaking, they're better. Pretty Brown Mimi, she says, I want parents that are going to teach me morals and integrity because I can carry that throughout my life, no matter what my financial status is. I hear that
That's
point.
right.
I agree. Deborah Chakoa, she says she agrees with Mimi. There are bad rich and bad poor parents, and the other way around. I completely agree with that. If we take out all of, I mean, you can't necessarily separate it, but if we put that to the side and we're just talking about time here, that's the biggest point of this conversation is time. And generally speaking, people who are broke, in his words,
Yep.
in 21 Savage, in his words, generally speaking, those broke people are going to have time to put in. Now, again, I'm looking at this on how I was raised, okay? Shout out to my mama. Shout out to my mom.
Absolutely.
Before I continue, my mom, I felt like as an octopus, she had all these different hands and she was able to do all these different things, holding it down by herself. But at the same time, she was holding it together. She didn't have all the means, and she definitely did a fantastic job of getting better. I mean, she's probably for me, the quintessential example of doing better and better as you go along, right? So that to me is that's the bar. I'm like, okay, you're doing well here, but get better and better. Keep your head up, and as long as you can get up in the morning, you can continue to achieve more. So she is, to me, that example. However, when we were younger, we didn't have all the money and have all the things like we made do, right? But at the same time, I love the fact that, I mean, she set that example, and now what I'm able to do, generationally speaking, what's supposed to happen is your children are supposed to do better than you, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
And that typically is what's happened. My mom's ceiling happened to be my ground level floor. She ran, or she walked, or whatever you call it, so that I could run. That's what's happened. Now, myself and my husband, we're in a situation where, okay, now we're raising our kids and we're trying to take lessons that we've learned and all of that while still trying to make money, become successful, and all the things. But I'll tell you this, money, in my opinion, doesn't mean anything. I think you need to put in the time. And I think that because of my husband, I have been able to put in a lot of time with my kids. I have been able to teach them the integrity and the morals, like Mimi is saying. So I think that, maybe it is a matter of splitting the difference, but I still can't get off the point that 21 Savage is making, that broke parents, typically, meaning you just have more time on your hands, tend to be better than the ones who are rich because that's taken all of your time. I digress on that. You tell me what you think, but I don't know if my point is landing here.
No, your point is landing extremely valid, but I think something that you hit on, which is, I mean, it's sad, but it's true, it's uncommon, is you and your husband have teamwork and you're married.
Yes.
The reality is some parents nowadays, they can't do it because they're co-parenting or, they were in a failed relationship and now they got to try to figure out, how are we going to raise these children? And 9 out of 10 times it's going to fall more so on the woman than it does on the man. Mm-hmm. And it's, that is a totally different conversation for another day. But I think the reason why, you were able to kind of hit on it a little bit better is because you have the help of your husband, which is why you were able to go out and, do things more with your children and instill those things with them. And 21 Savage, I don't know the man at all, but I'm pretty sure he's not married. So when you're not married, it will make it significantly harder, which is probably why he wanted to say something along the lines of, well, broke parents are going to, do a better job than us rich parents. Well, it's hard for me to see a scenario where that is going to work because at the end of the day, now this is going to sound very controversial, but I'm just going to be very honest with you. Mm-hmm. Be careful who you have children with.
For sure.
And realistically, if you can't see yourself marrying that person, I would not recommend putting a child inside that person because now you're creating more of a broken home. So when he tries to say that, well, broke parents can be better than rich parents, I 100% disagree with that because there's a lot of brokenness still even with that statement.
I take your point. I hear your point. Let's go ahead and get to this call from Mimi calling from Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, Mimi.
Hi, Robin. I was wondering if I could comment about Dr. Umar. I know you haven't gone there yet, but I was hoping I could.
Well, I mean, you want to you want to stay
They
on
ready
hold
for this.
and yeah, or
Yes.
yes, you want to stay on hold because I definitely want to hear what you have to say when we we
I
jump to that.
can. I can.
Mimi said no. I need to talk. I need
I
y'all
want
to
to get this
know.
out here now.
She is passionate. Mimi, how do you feel? I don't want to hear your comment about this, what we're going to get into with Dr. Umar, but are you on Team Robin or are you on Team Dr. Umar? Because that I mean, how if you hang on or not, that's going to depend on what you say.
I know that's right.
I'm not that crazy
I'm
about
kidding.
Dr. Umar.
Okay. All right, then we good. We good over here. I'm
So
gonna
we
put you.
good.
Yeah, I'm gonna
We
put you on
safe.
hold. But before I put you on hold, Mimi, do you have any one way that you feel one way or the other? I mean, I know I read your comment
Yes.
about wanting integrity and you want to be taught morals by your parents, but do you agree one way or the other that rich people tend to be not, or broke parents tend to be better because they're able to offer time to their kids versus rich parents being too busy to spend time with their kids? Where do you stand with that?
Well, I mean, I know money is important. It helps. You have to pay the bills and do things. But I think if you're a good person, you have morals, you can have that with money or without. But if you have a lot of money and you've got the kid off in private school somewhere and you're not with them, you're rich financially, but your child is poor morally, spiritually, the kid is empty because the kid needs you.
It's a great point. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to put you on hold, Mimi, because I gotta hear what you have to say about Dr. Umar. Chris, I hear all the points. This is what I want to say before we move on, and I know we have other things to talk about, but
Gotcha.
there is nothing better. I'll just say this, whether rich or poor, I personally do not care. I don't care where you stand financially, but I know that there is nothing better than being able to have conversations among my own family and my family members. And we're talking about all the memories that we've built, all the time we've spent together, all the game nights, all the movies, all the things. Oftentimes it's just having conversations at home, not costing anything, but there is nothing that could replace that time. So wherever you stand financially, to me, that's all that matters. And I believe to the kids, that's all that matters as well. But Chris, we're going to pick up this conversation on the other side. It's getting good, Chris. It's getting good. Right now, we've got news, traffic, and sports. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on The Rob Report.
More of The Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Memphis Interim Police Chief C.J. Davis will stay in her position until further notice following an emergency session of the Memphis City Council and Mayor Paul Young. Mayor Young, who is black, gave his full support to the Black Interim Chief and her efforts to make Memphis a safe place. The council will meet in the future to decide if Davis will be reappointed to the position permanently. President Joe Biden is making abortion rights a key issue of his 2024 re-election campaign. At a campaign event in Virginia with Vice President Kamala Harris, Biden said Donald Trump and his conservative majority Supreme Court ripped away abortion rights from women when it struck down Roe v. Wade. The president said so-called MAGA Republicans want to pass a national ban on abortion. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Trouble in Commerce continues as now an accident continues to block the right shoulder embankment of the 5 South at the 710. Stop delays continue from Highway 60 over 20 minutes. In Griffith Park, an accident remains on the right shoulder of the 134 East at Forenston Drive with a 10 to 15 minute traffic jam running heavy from Bob Hope. In Tahunga, watch for a stall on the right shoulder of the 210 East before Latuna Canyon Road and a slight slowdown over 30 minutes from Sunland Boulevard. And in West LA's 10 West at Bundy Drive, watch for a stall blocking the right lane.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Former Clippers coach Doc Rivers is the new coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. Rivers was hired Wednesday morning, a day after the Bucks fired Adrian Griffin after a half season. Rivers was doing TV for ABC and ESPN. The Bucks were 30-13 and have the second best record in the Eastern Conference, but that wasn't good enough. A lot of drama going on between Griffin, the players, and management. This will be the fifth NBA team Rivers has coached. He coached the Clippers for 7 seasons from 2013 to 2020. The Lakers are at home Thursday night against Chicago. They're not sure if LeBron will suit up. LeBron is nursing a sore left ankle. The Lakers hope to have an update on LeBron's status tomorrow. Tuesday night's loss to the Clippers dropped the Lakers below 500 again. The Lakers have been under 500 for 13 games this season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Got me a damn girl on my team.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe we have the best tag team in morning radio. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley as the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show. Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DePrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Awards Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Holla, yeah.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit LAFLA.org. LAFLA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
I want to dedicate this song to all the lovers tonight. And I expect that might be the whole world, because everybody needs something or someone to love. When it's cold outside, who are you holding?
You are inside The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Wow. Now that's a jam. That's because it's cold outside, y'all, and that's a jam. Andy comes with the cuts. I know if y'all had the opportunity to just let Andy put together a little playlist for you, I know you would. I know I would. We are having a wonderful conversation here on the Rob Report. If you're just joining us, welcome on in here. We're talking about rich parents versus broke parents and which one people say are better. And right now it looks like 57% of you inside of our YouTube poll say that rich parents seem to be better. And maybe that's just because we can provide. I'm saying we as though I'm in the rich parent category. I'm saying I'll pop my collar a little bit. I'm just kidding. But no, I'm kidding. It sounds as though rich people can maybe provide more, better opportunities and things like that. Maybe that's why you all think that. Andy, did you want to jump in on something? You had something to say? So we're going to go ahead and end that poll. But we did say that we're going to jump into this Dr. Umar conversation. Now, if you've been following me for a good enough amount of time, you'll know that I have a sort of love-hate relationship with Dr. Umar and his stance on a lot of topics and his delivery. Probably most importantly, I have issues with. A lot of people cannot understand it, especially if you're a man. You're like, why are you tripping? Well, Dr. Umar, in my opinion, is myopic in a lot of his views. I can't stand the tone of his voice when he delivers information. I think that he can be pretentious oftentimes. I don't like it. He can be condescending oftentimes, and I don't like that. Anyway, Chris Gunther, we have Chris on the line, and before we get into all of the conversation, we also have Mimi who's on the line. She can't wait to talk about Dr. Umar. Before we get to her comment and Chris, our conversation, let's hear what Dr. Umar has to say, and we'll break it down on the other side.
I don't date women who have had sex with non-African men.
Even if it was just an experience?
Yes.
Wow.
If they sex them, a date, I can live with that. A kiss, disgusting, but I might swallow that.
Oh my God.
But if she gave that honeycomb hideout to a devil, if she gave her cookies
unbelievable
to that Caucasian
slayer,
I cannot go back into that cave after she let a Neanderthal enter it. I cannot do it. She has disrespected her vagina and every female ancestor we've ever had. I cannot do it.
Wow.
I cannot stand Dr. Umar sometimes. He said it, and you know what? I said I wanted to hear from Mimi. So, Chris, before I get to you, let's go ahead and take Mimi's call. Hello, Mimi, and what would you like to say about Dr. Umar?
You know what gets me is he's a psychologist, right? But he says crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's so ironic to me. And he's building a school, and we haven't seen one brick yet. But I can put all of that aside.
Okay.
I thought he was in this polygamous marriage, his life, allegedly, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's fine, no judgment. Mm-hmm. Although I do sound a little judgy, but no judgment. I can't believe he would say something like that, because there are some black men that are dating interracially, so it seems like it's a double standard. Okay. Like, black men can date, be intimate with non-black women, and black women will be with them, in a relationship, marriage, whatever. But suddenly, Dr. Umar, like, no, if you're black and you've been with a white guy or non-black man, you're out, and I don't want your bat cave. Like, it's not a bat cave, Dr. Umar.
Well said, Mimi. And just as a quick correction, thank you so much for calling. I always love hearing from you, Mimi. As a quick correction, Dr. Umar also has heat in his throat for men who are with white women. So he is definitely, he feels the same no matter who you are. If you are black, he feels that you should continue to be with black people. Now, Chris, you've now heard the clip. Maybe you've heard it before. What is your stance? I mean, I know you are very much pro-black. You're like, I got a black woman, all of that. But do you agree with Dr. Umar here, or is he a little bit he's excessive in his views. What do you think?
Well, you can take the little bit off because that man is extremely excessive in his views. For him to make a comment like this, I'm not surprised. It's Dr. Umar. You know, there's an old saying, if it looks like a duck and it quack like a duck, then it's a duck. So are we really surprised that this man who has been known to hate white people say that? Absolutely not. We are not shocked. I mean, at the end of the day, the real you is going to come out. That's how that man feels, right or wrong. He can be entitled to it. I'm not surprised because this is who he is. However, I'm just curious, for that school that he's supposed to be funding or building, I'm sure you had some white people help you with some funds, though, right? So isn't it very interesting how, you know, we as blacks, and don't get it twisted. I love my people. I sincerely do. But for every one black person, there's at least 8 white people. So for him to make that kind of statement, it is idiotic and it's very asinine. Then again, I'm not surprised because this is who this man is. He hates white people. Yeah, I'm all for knowing your history, but I'm not for disowning another race. And if a black woman decided to give up the goods to a white person, that's her right. Is that going to make us not welcome her back to the cookout? 100% not.
Right.
Because ain't nothing like a black woman. We understand
Come on
that.
now. Come on. Speak
Ain't
on it,
nothing
Chris.
like, come on now. The greatest invention to mankind was the black one. We all know it. And if she wanted to go out and test, you know, the cream and the coffee, then go ahead. But sister, you can always come back home.
I appreciate that. Andy.
When will we ever get to a point where we don't judge the messenger and just focus on the message alone? We always attacking him about, you know, his school. But like when he talks about like some interesting topics that we need to discuss, you know what I mean? We want to revert back to his school. So what? Like not everybody's perfect. Let's focus on the message and what he's trying to say.
So is your problem that people keep just bringing up the school?
Absolutely.
That's the okay. So if we separate that,
Yeah.
What do you think about his actual comment though?
This one in particular, I mean, like Chris said, I mean, I'm not shocked about what he had to say. I don't know how practical and how literal that could be. I mean, for any black woman out there that might be interested in a Dr. Umar, who might have, you know, dabbled in, you know, the milk, as he likes to say. You know what I'm saying? If they approach him now, you know, they might not disclose that information. So that makes it a little bit challenging for him.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't surprise me. I mean, there was a time, I'm not going to lie, I was in college, I kissed a white girl, and you know what? I felt awkward after that.
Okay. Well, let me just say this.
Let it out, my brother. Let it out.
Let it out. All right. Let me just say this. First of all, shout out to and rest in peace to my stepfather, Charles, who a white man who my mom dated for, or she was married to for, she was with this man for 30 some odd years of my life, and who was very present in my life, and who never dropped the ball in my life and in my siblings' life. And so the best example of a man that I had seen. So I want to, and that was coming from a white man. So you'll never get me to jump on a bandwagon of promoting any sort of separatists that I feel Dr. Umar is. Dr. Umar, and you're right, Chris. He speaks like an asinine. I don't care what anybody says. The reason why, Andy, it's important to note why people keep going back to the school, he acts like he can put this school together without community involvement, like without being collaborative with other people, with white people. He acts like he can do this by himself. And the reason why it's important to note is because you keep saying things about white people that sounds so racist and like he is a separatist when in fact, if you're building a school in a community, you cannot be a separatist. So I think that's the importance of having the conversation about the school. Do you disagree with that, Andy?
I disagree. If I remember correctly, and I stand to be corrected, you know, when he introduced this whole concept about building a school, I believe he reached out to the community for assistance. Now, everything that happened afterwards, I'm not, too privy about it, but I do know that he did reach out to the community for assistance.
I'm not saying that the community can't be involved and can't help. I'm saying you're going to need to go beyond the community. We can only do, if you're only trying to be like, I want only black people involved in my school, not to say it's impossible, but it's going to be a lot less possible, especially when you're talking about getting permits and dealing with corporations and other organizations to kind of help you get this on board. You're talking to a lot of white people, probably majority white people.
I'm with you. I agree. But I do think that there's something to keep everything all black. It might be a little bit more challenging, but I do think that there's something to that.
All right. Well, I'll say this, and I'll leave that point alone. I feel like it's even harder to get to be on board with somebody who speaks the way that he does. I mean, he speaks with such venom in his mouth, and the things that he says towards white people. It's hard to get behind somebody like that. And when you have that type of reputation that is recurring, these conversations are recurring. I feel like it's hard to get behind that. Chris, let me ask you this question. Because it's you made an interesting point. Yeah, it's Dr. Umar. Are we surprised? Absolutely not. But people continue to have conversations with Dr. Umar, knowing how he feels. At this point, do you believe that people, you remember when Kanye went on his rant? Kanye was out here talking and people were questioning. They're like, why do they keep letting Kanye on their platform to talk, to say these crazy things? We know what he's about to say. Do you think it's ratings at some point, or do you feel like it's more about, no, we actually agree with him. It's we want to hear what he has to say.
It can be both. It can be ratings because we do live in a numbers-driven society. And on the flip side, some people entertain people that are going to keep you entertained. I'm not surprised that Dr. Umar continues to create such an uproar because people live for the craziness. They live for the gossip. They live to see another black man on whatever platform it is yelling and screaming about the society and about the issues that we face as black people. So while a lot of the stuff that he says, I 1,000,000%, I don't like his delivery. Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with some of the stuff that he says. Mm-hmm. However, it does not do anything for us as a people because the reality of it is there's only a handful of blacks on this big mainstream platform and these big mainstream media circuits. And whenever we are the ones that are going out here yelling and screaming, the white folks sitting back there saying, look at what these niggers are doing. And I sincerely apologize if I can't say that word on KBLA. I hope that does not make y'all not invite me back, but let's go ahead and call a spade a spade.
Okay.
At the end of the day, a lot of times that's who they see us as. Mm-hmm. And it's very unfortunate because we have somebody who could be using his voice in the black community for something bigger, but this is how he wants to paint us in this negative light. And and it's jacked up and it's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, that's who that man is. Yeah. We cannot be surprised at Steph Curry for hitting a 3-pointer. That's what that man does.
Right.
So we can't be shocked.
Yeah.
It's in his DNA. We can't be surprised. He's like that cousin that comes to the cookout and you know he gonna be on some trash. You know what you'll say?
Yeah.
That's just him.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and I keep talking about Dr. Umar too, just because again I keep describing that love-hate thing because sometimes I agree with you. Sometimes he says things that I don't disagree with, but most of the time it's a no for me. Well, Chris Gunther, always a pleasure to be in conversation with you. Truly appreciate you. Let everybody know where they can find you online.
You can find me on all social media at Chris Gunther. Be sure that y'all continue to check out the Raw Report on KBLA 1580. Robin, appreciate you always. Peace and love.
Thank you so much. Same to you, Chris. I agree with you guys. And Brother Alfonso says the school thing is relevant. It touches on his credibility. He reached out to the community and talked down to the community simultaneously. Wow, I think that's a great point. Marcus Atkins says, long as podcasters give him a platform, he will continue with his rants. And then Deborah Chakor says, why does Dr. Umar keep talking? Because we keep giving him a platform to talk and people act like they are interested. Okay, well, when we come forward, we have got your Who's Got Next. We're finally going to play some music, y'all. So stay tuned for that on the other side. You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Eric Bellinger hanging out right here with my family at the Raw Report. Keep it locked.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
City of Los Angeles landlords that own rent-controlled properties, starting February 1st, you'll be able to increase rents by 4% for your rent-controlled properties. An extra 1% per utility, up to 6%, can be added only if you pay the entire gas and electric bill. And don't forget to give your tenant an advance 30-day written notice for rent increases of less than 10%. It is state law. Learn more about the rent increase at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Granddad, what's good?
Hey there, got us a quarter pounder with cheese and McNuggets.
Wow, haven't had our special McDonald's order in a minute.
Heard your little tic-tac-toe dance didn't get no likes.
Oh man, is Mom telling everybody?
You know she is.
There's a deal for every favorite grandson at McDonald's. Right now, get one favorite like a quarter pounder with cheese or 10-piece chicken McNuggets and get another for just $1. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Valid for item of equal or lesser value.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 climate justice campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
We're for Washington. We love Febrez's new scent. Refresh and energize.
So much we made a song about it.
Some people just know the best places to eat around town. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate. They know exactly where to go to get exactly what you're wanting. They know where to find the spiciest hot pot, the gooeyest brownies, and the tenderest, most flavorful portobello steak. Those people also know that safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
Saving 40% is based on the national average premium savings for all state auto customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook,
The
Illinois.
thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it hurts to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. Only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer suggested price. However, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer. Excludes 8-count.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Rob Report. With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to Chris Gunther for calling in. It was a great conversation for us. I agree with you on that. Well, we finally have ourselves a Who's Got Next. This is, I think it's a song that is pretty cool. This guy is named Kamari, and this song is called These Four Walls. Check it out.
Fuck, come on.
I sit alone in a castle of isolation. And every day I grow more and more impatient. While you keep me waiting for your call, but you never call. If I didn't know different, I think you didn't care at all. You said you'll meet me halfway, but I know you won't. And more than not these days, I feel this way. But these four walls keep me company. They don't ask for much, don't dress up and leave. These four walls, I've got these four walls, even when you don't call. Trying to find the words to say, it's kinda like walking through minds. Cause we were born on different planets, but you would love it back in mine. Afraid to shoot again, cause if I miss. But I tried. Waiting for your call, but you never call. If I didn't know different, I think you didn't care at all. You said you'll meet me halfway, but I know you won't. And more than not these days, I feel this way. But these four walls keep me company. They don't ask for much, don't dress up and leave. These four walls, I've got these four walls, even when you don't call. Stuck on the inside, looking outside.
Okay, Kamari.
In the lonely hours,
These four walls. Yeah, I agree. Mimi talking about snuggling up with somebody on this one. Forrest Harrison says he's digging this vibe. Old school flavor with great lyrics. I agree. Houston, Texas says he's talented. I miss that genuine, real good, feel good R&B music. I miss it. I'm telling you, like nobody's business. So I am always open to hearing from you guys on artists that we should know about, artists that we should play, songs that we should play. I mean, I only have 2 ears, so I can only listen to so much. But you know what? We're going to keep that. We're going to keep it going. As you already know, tomorrow we are back with another fire show. Tonight was a great conversation. I deeply appreciate all of you guys and your engagement. Again, thank you to Chris Gunther for calling in today. I appreciate that. And yeah, I'm interested to see what tomorrow's conversations will bring. It's always going to be the same, though. We're always going to talk about, you know, whatever the topic is and try to pull something from it to make us better, to make us think and, you know, create great conversation around it. So definitely shout out to the Raw Squad for joining me over here on our YouTube. Thank you so much for the phone calls. We appreciate you, Mimi, as well. You already know what time it is, though. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. He is coming up next with a fire show like he always has every single night. So you don't want to change that dial. You want to stay right here and stay tuned in, locked into KBLA Talk 1580. I am your host, Robin Ayers, and you guys remember, today and every day forward, be a blessing.